When it comes to getting around New York City, the Hudson River, it is and always has been a major transportation artery. But when you get prolonged cold and newly added snow, things get icy. This video from the U.S. Coast Guard East Division showing us the moment that crews helped free an NYPD vessel. That's a New York Police Department vessel that was stuck in the ice.
An important one there, right? But it wasn't just the NYPD. New York City ferry vessels, they've been limited in operations since the storm too. And it wasn't, so much the sleet and snow that was a problem. Yeah, that compounded it. But it's these cold temperatures which continue to freeze over the Hudson. And with dense ice locked in along the East and Hudson rivers, vessels are now skipping some docking stations.
I like the sound of it, the crunching of the ice. Might be a little bit of wind in there too. But let's go ahead and welcome in Captain Johnathan Andrechik, Commander for the U.S. Coast Guard's New York sector, joining us with more on, well, the importance of icebreaking operations. I mean, Johnathan, first, let's just talk about what we were seeing out on the Hudson. A lot of ice out there, and trying to break through that, obviously, with a lot of the ferries canceling their service. It's a problem.
Yeah, good morning, and thanks for having me today. So you're absolutely right. With these cold temperatures, we're seeing these increasing ice conditions across our waterways here in New York Harbor and really all the way up the Hudson River to Albany. And so one of the responsibilities that we have here as the Coast Guard in New York is to ensure that we're assessing those ice conditions daily and directing our icebreaking assets accordingly to ensure those navigation channels are kept open and we keep those critical vessels moving through the harbor.
Captain, I want to talk more about the history of the ice on the Hudson, because it's not something every year that is, a guarantee. So I know you guys have to kind of have your heads on a swivel. But can we talk about the NYPD vessel that you guys had to break free? How long did that take, and what were the circumstances surrounding it?
Yes, thank you. So each year we do prepare for ice conditions on the river. As you mentioned, we don't always see the conditions that we're seeing right now, but as those ice conditions develop, we are in daily contact with New York City Emergency Management, with our waterway users, and with our local partners like NYPD to ensure that we understand where those most critical needs are in assisting vessels that may need that help. And so in this case, the Coast Guard received a direct request from NYPD that one of their vessels their facilities there on the Hudson River was iced in and needed assistance. So just to ensure that they can remain operational, we sent one of our icebreaking resources over there and ensure we were able to free them and get that unit down to clear water so that it could respond.
I am curious too, Captain. I mean, when we see rivers freezing over, it's not that unusual, right? Especially when it comes to the Hudson and even the East River. But I mean, how would you say this winter compares? Because it does feel like it's been very, very cold. And in terms of how the Hudson has responded with that coverage and ice, from your perspective, would you say this is more ice than recently, or kind of run of the mill?
Well, it's certainly more ice than we saw last year, and it is a dynamic situation. We continue to each day work with our partners to assess those ice conditions. We do that through aerial observations. NYPD Aviation has been very helpful to us in getting that aerial view of where the ice coverage is here in the harbor. But we also need to understand the thickness of the ice, and we do that through really surface operations, getting our vessels out there to evaluate the thickness and understand, again, where those critical needs are for icebreaking services here in the harbor and along the Hudson River.
Well, Captain, I'm not expecting you to be a forecaster, but simply put, it's cold in New York City, and we're going to stay at or below freezing for the foreseeable future. Looking at that extended range, even heading into February, we're below freezing. So what do you foresee happening along the Hudson? Could there be even more limitations as a result of the ice, or is this something that you guys will just have to combat even more as temperatures stay cold?
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's something we are watching closely. The forecast is certainly not looking good in terms of additional ice formation, but this is something that we prepare for each year, as I mentioned. we need to continue assessing these conditions daily. It is dynamic, as you can imagine, it being a river, as we're seeing on the screen right now. The ice is moving constantly. And so it's really up to us to assess those conditions daily and ensure that we have a good understanding of where those critical areas are in the waterway that need those ice-breaking resources.
Now, safety aside, I want to ask you, in your personal opinion, so I take my boys to one of the rivers nearby, and there's nothing they love more than breaking ice on a river, throwing rocks at it. Is there something exhilarating about breaking through the ice on the river and hearing the cracking of all of it?
Well, it's so funny you say that, because I had that same reaction, and I had the opportunity to get underway with our crews on doing this mission. And it is a unique mission for the Coast Guard, something that very few of our Coast Guard personnel around the country get to do. But I can tell you, our crews are excited. They're well trained. They look forward to this mission each year, because they understand the importance that it has, not just for protecting mariners, but also to ensure our economy keeps running, right? Critical commodities that move on the waterways, like fuel supplies, home heating oil. That is really what we're there to do, is keep people safe and keep commerce moving safely. Thank you.
Yeah, commuters, commerce, all of it. I mean, an artery of transportation. Really fascinating stuff. We enjoyed catching up with you. Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time, Captain Johnathan Andrechik, Commander for the U.S. Coast Guard's New York sector.
Thanks for having me.
It's like that.